nice warm tea, we can feel stress-free. Soft voices and a lot of laughs, it's the Monday Podcast.
Hey, you! How's it going out there? I hope you're having a splendiferous day. A wonderful day, nay, a fantastic week. My name is Chris, and you're listening to the Mundane Podcast with me, Chris, and Dave!
Hello! Double hello wave. There you go, have that.
Most of our listeners are audio. Most of our listeners are audio, Dave, so please...
Wave with two hands for those listening with their ears.
That was good. It took up almost the whole viewing screen that I saw. So welcome to the Monday Podcast with Chris and Dave, where every week we go through stuff. I need to find like a good summary. I want to try and get this down. I've got a new thing today to try and make it more professional. So as we go, I want as we grow as a podcast that we just get, slight things. But I need a good intro, like welcome to the Monday Podcast, where every week we do this. So, every 2 weeks, every mundane Monday, me and Dave look into the deep, dark, interesting, fun, I keep saying splendiferous now of all the words. Is splendiferous a word?
I think it actually
Feels
might
like
be.
it
It's one of those ones that sounds like it's a made-up word, but actually isn't.
Actually isn't, yeah. There's the splendid, happy, great fun times of some of the very things that we experience all the time and maybe not think about as much. And we're here to give them their due. So today, Dave, as always, I would like you to guess the subject of today's episode. The clue I will give you is it can be found either in the bedroom or the bathroom.
Okay, right. Also, what your intro just made me think of another way we could say is because it's a hot word in these days, platforming. You can't give them a platform. Well, we're giving the mundane things. We're giving paperclips a platform because others aren't, and we're here for that. Anyway, sorry to.
I was trying to be so professional.
I know, and then I just
go into the next session
in a china shop. But that's the nature of it. This is the way we roll. This is what we want. We're going off the piece.
Do you know what? We're off the rails, Dave. Just while you were doing that, I did Google it. Splendiferous is a word.
There we go. Have that as well. You learned that, guys.
It's a playful, slightly exaggerated adjective meaning extremely beautiful, excellent, or magnificent. Why not all three?
Put it all in one. I love. It's efficient, isn't it? Right, here we go. So it's in the bedroom and it's in the bathroom. It's. I feel like I just want to go in with a guess rather than a question.
Go, do it.
Tissues.
No.
Because, they're not always in both, really. This one definitely is in both, though, yeah?
It depends on who you are.
If you have this item, I'm just going with a question now. If you have this item, will you have it in your bedroom and your bathroom, or is it that it will be one or the other? You can have two of them? Is that...
It really depends on who you are. I know some people will have one in each. Some people may not have any. Some people will have one in each. Or just with...
Any other rooms that it could be in? Or is it really just those two?
You have a dressing room. You could possibly have it in there.
Okay, so there's a clue there. A hook.
No, good guess though.
Yeah, I really
hook
thought I had it there. It's a mirror.
No, also a good one. No.
Sometimes when we do these things, I think I'm not a normal person, am I? Because
you may not use them. You may use them for one use, maybe two, but it is more commonly. Well, the most common use, everybody uses it. The second most common, only 50% of the population will use it. Maybe a bit more, but ish.
The hairbrush.
No, Chloe, that was good. That's a really good one, but no.
Comb.
No, it's not to do with hair.
Okay. First aid kit.
It can be in a first aid kit sometimes.
Cotton wool buds. Pads. Cotton buds. Cotton
buds!
Yes! All right, there we go.
Yes, today we are going to be talking about those wonderful little sticks with furry bits on the end. We are going to be looking at cotton buds, Q-tips, and cotton swabs. Also, the three names that I have heard these things be called. What is your experience with those little swabby things?
Well, growing up, probably because Mum taught me that that was what you do, I used them to clean my ears. And then somewhere along the way, probably even before I got into audio stuff and looking after my ears thusly, I learned that they're pretty bad for your ears because they push the wax in, at least if you use them like
On your inner ear.
if you're on your inner ear. So then I basically just stopped using them. And then, I don't know how long ago it was, but I started instead essentially making my own by getting some toilet roll after I've had a bath or a shower so that my ears are still kind of a bit moist and anything there might be easier to clean off. And I'll just make a kind of a stick and I clean my ear with it. And I do it the other way to where I've twisted it so that it kind of untwists in my ear and expands and cleans a bit better without going all the way in. And then more recently, I can't remember why, but I ended up buying them again. I think it's because Joy was like, "Oh, you got wax on these bits of your ears," and I was like, "Okay." So I got them to do the other bits on the outside of your ear, the Q-tips, the cotton buds, and then I still am using them now for that. But they go in the bin, not in the toilet. They do live in my bathroom in the drawer.
I was going to say, who puts them in the toilet?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, these days, I think the stick is probably made of dense cardboard, but it's certainly dense enough.
We will get to that.
It's still block your toilet.
It's what they say. You should only put in the 3 Ps.
Yeah. Poo,
poo, pee, and paper.
Yeah, and not just, you can't just stick your A4 paper in there. You know, they're talking about toilet paper. Just to clarify.
They're talking about toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, toilet paper. Now, I treat cotton buds like drugs because I have been addicted to cleaning out my ears because of, as I called them and then discovered everyone else called them it as well because I thought I was all unique and I almost definitely heard it out in the wild, was eargasms. So I love seeking the eargasms. I call it the forbidden itch. Do you know what? Because I know it's bad and I can't stop myself. So this is 100% true. One of the most amazing things my wife does, the amazing lady that she is, she hides them from me. Because she uses them for removing makeup, you know, for little bits. And, you know, she cleans the outer ear. She never does it in the ear. But she got to a point where I just couldn't, because when I lived on my own, I didn't buy them. When we first started this podcast, we were recording and I lived alone, I did not buy them because I knew I couldn't help it. And what would always happen is I do it once, yeah, I do it on the other ear, oh yeah. Then I do it again and I'm like, oh, and then it like hurts a bit and I'm like, oh no, maybe I'll stop. But then it'd be like, oh no, maybe I'll do one more. Because I've got the other side, you know, I've got the other side of the cotton bud. And then it's like, oh, then it gets a bit sore and then I lose my hearing a bit. And so my wife now hides them. I do not know where they are, and the problem is, if I find them, no, not anymore, but I used to, if I found them, I'd be like, this is it, eargasms. And like, if I go, when I stay at my grandparents' house, when I go down south to go stay with them, I know where they keep them in the drawer, and I will literally go straight for them sometimes, because sometimes I have been in bed, like with this itch, it's like in my brain, and I'm like lying in bed going,
I know that itch.
It's so overwhelming. And the feeling of it. But then one day I stopped doing it. There was 2 reasons that I stopped doing it. There was 2 phases to this. The first phase was I went to an ENT to look into my sinus, and he looked into it, and as part of the checkup, he looked into my ears, and he went, "Whoa, you've got a lot of wax in there." And I've had doctors say that to me before because obviously they normally check in your ear with that little scopy thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Whoa, you got a lot of." I don't know why he's got. I'm going to pretend he has this raspy voice. He definitely has. You got a lot of wax in there. And he went, "Come sit over here." And he sat me in this chair, and he had this little like vacuum.
Yeah, yeah.
And he went, "Oh, I'll sort this out." And he was like sucking all the wax on me. And then at one point he like did it, and then he went, "Oh," and he went, "Don't move." And then I heard him open a drawer. And he got out like what looked like the tiniest needle, and then I just felt him scrape the inside of my ear, like, and it was like, and when he did that, and I walked out, this must have been probably 13 years ago. I walked out, and it was like I could hear things. I could hear, and I have quite a good sense of hearing from like, you know, our work in audio and doing this.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
I was hearing like frequencies I had never heard.
Yeah.
I remember hearing like the higher end of the squeaks of shoes.
Yeah.
And I heard like a mid rumble of like the aircon that like I only heard, and it wasn't like it was almost like it wasn't attenuated. It wasn't like like the volume was turned down, but it was just like I could hear clearer. It was like my hearing was originally your camera, Dave, in 720p,
Yeah.
and then it went up to 4K.
Yeah.
The sound was 4K, and ever since then, I genuinely I felt like I have been given a gift. I'm the luckiest boy in the world, because I used to go to festivals, well, I still do, go to festivals and gigs, no hearing protection, what? I used to listen to my headphones on full blast, all of this, and I genuinely believe that the reason my hearing is nowhere near as damaged as it absolutely should have been, and maybe because I was listening to it loud as well, maybe I was always just partially deaf.
Yeah, because they're full of wax.
Yeah, it was full of wax, and I definitely, because I used to do it when I lived at home, I would have done it like every day. And and the thing that they talk about, and in the article we're going to talk about today, it compounds it. You kind of like press it in. You don't just like put it in deeper. You also compress it in.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's like making like the walls of your ear smaller. And then the irony is the hairs on the inside of your ear are very sensitive. And that's what causes the itch. And then ironically, the feeling of it reacting to the amount of wax that's in there makes them itch more. So it's like, it gets worse. So after that was done, I got rid of all my cotton buds. And then basically from that point onwards, I would very rarely use it. And then every once in a while, so that was phase one, and I didn't use it. And every once in a while, I'd find them like, or like the itch would be really bad. And then one time I did it, and I didn't get, it honestly sounds like a drugstore. I didn't get the high. I didn't get the eargasm. I put it in, and instead of like the scratching of the itch, it was just like putting it on like cement. And all I felt was, no matter where I moved it, I couldn't scratch it. And I pulled it out, and it was covered. It was disgusting. It was covered with wax. Gross. Sorry, everybody. Then my ear inflamed, and I went deaf in that ear. And I went deaf in that ear for like weeks. And I was miserable, and like it was pants. And then over time it got better, and then basically every time I've done it since, I will very rarely, if ever, like in the last 3 or 4 years, I will maybe once a year, just because I relapse. But aside from that, I will. And the other thing I do now, Chris's advice, obviously you're not supposed to, they say you don't put anything bigger than your elbow in your ear. I will hold a cotton bud like over halfway, so I don't ever put it in deeper. I really want to, you know, it's like, oh, it's calling. The forbidden itch is just a centimetre too deeper. But I won't, so I'll hold that to kind of safely do it. I am now absolutely super strict about that. I always wear hearing protection. You should always wear hearing protection, please, everybody. You'll thank us later. You definitely don't want to go deaf. It is the worst. So I actually, when that gets really bad, I have to now go at least once a year to get my ears cleaned out. Well, I'm not going to tell you. I go to a popular optician because they do it for fairly cheap.
I know the one.
My favourite part of it, though, is they say it's also an ear health exam, and they literally just look in your ear and go, yeah, it looks all right, and then they clean it. But every time I've had it done, there was always wax stuck. There's always, like, I think the cavern of my ear curves in such a way that the wax, and once again, this now, for sure, I hand on heart swear, probably had 1, maybe 2 cotton buds in it max over the course of over a year. Wait, like over a year and a half, maybe a year and a half. And she would have to and I'd always put olive oil, Chris's top tip as well. If you put olive oil in your ear, it loosens it and softens it up. You have to do it for days though. It's not just you do it once. You have to do it for like 3 times a day. It really helps though. And now when I get an itch, I put a drop of olive oil in my ear because that was what the earwax person told me to do. And it does help loosen it.
I get that itch. Well, usually I'm in bed, so I'm just like, well, I'll deal with that in the morning. And then I'm just like, yeah, I guess that means I need to give my ears a clean, which, well, I pretty much do like a quick clean every other day. I'm quite disciplined, unlike someone with my cotton buds. And I just I do go into the canal, is that what it's called? Like, but I literally just into the first bit, and I just sort of go around the edges, and I never go in.
Yeah, they say you shouldn't even do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Man's got to have some sort of pleasure in his life.
Oh, I agree, man. Don't get me on this pleasure. That's it. And I'm always like, you know what? If that's my most damaging habit, I can.
Yeah, people do worse, don't they? Hey?
Yeah, But they say the ear is self-cleaning, so you should never. You just kind of clear out what comes out. You just the outside of your ear. You should.
The other thing I've done when I've had the itchy ear as well is, I suppose it may be similar to kind of plunging your ear, but I'll actually kind of get my finger on the I know those listening won't get the benefit of this, but I just sort of put my finger just in the top of my ear and I'll just sort of shake it like that,
like a little plunger.
Yeah, like a little plunger.
Cover the hole
back and forth. It's a little bit
so
side
you
side.
Cover the whole of your ear.
Yeah, I cover the hole up, and then it's kind of like I'm almost plunging it, and it seems to help. And once I got so desperate, I think I read a Facebook post about someone talking about, does this work? And I gave it a try. I've actually cupped my hand kind of over my ear to try and make like a chamber, and then use my other hand to try and plunge it like that. And this is difficult to describe, so those listening...
Yeah, David's kind of making a little... He's kind of extending his ear with a little OK sign around his... and then kind of tapping the hole to kind of create a little plunge effect. This is Chris's final top tip regarding ear health, because I tell you, I have been on it all. You just leave it. No matter what, if it starts getting irritated and stuff, leave it. Obviously, if you think it's an infection, go to your pharmacist first. But, my goodness. I didn't realise, when I chose this episode, I was actually more excited about the cotton buds, but then I've realised it's just become about my addiction by accident, talking non-stop.
It's good to get this stuff off your chest, Chris, So well done for coming forwards and admitting you have a problem, because that is the first step to recovery.
Thank you. Well, I've got one good resource today. I looked at quite a few. This one was probably the best one. This is from healthing.ca. But it kind of reads like, I think it's healthing, like health as a verb, but it kind of also could be healthing.ca.
Yeah, I like healthing. We're going to go with that.
So I'm not going to tell you what the title of this is called yet, because it will give away one of the first facts that blew my mind about these.
Okay.
But it's an article written by Sadaf Asan. I'm very sorry if I said your name wrong. Sadaf Asan. Either way, this is a fantastic article. It's probably the only one. There's only a few of these, believe it or not. There's not a lot about the history of cotton buds or Q-tips. This was the only one that actually had references. So here it goes. As it often goes, some of the greatest inventions were created by women, with both the fame and fortune landing in the hands of someone else, usually a man. The lengthy list includes wireless communication, developed by actress Hedy Lamarr, who never saw a single cent from a multi-billion-dollar industry her idea helped create. The modern bra would be a good one. Maybe I won't do it, but basically bra was invented by a woman, not the people that made it. As well as and it talked about Ada Lovelace, who was the person who made the computer program.
Yep.
But it was overshadowed by her husband. But it isn't just the big ticket items women inventors concocted and lost credit for. There's also ... wait for it ... the cotton swab. This is how I know a person wrote it, because they were like, they could be a bit. After watching his wife painstakingly attach balls of cotton to the ends of a toothpick for cleaning their daughter's ears after her daily baths, which he certainly wasn't administering. This is a mad article. Leo Gerstenzang. Leo Gerstenzang. I'm sorry, Leo Gerstenzang, although it's been a while, but I'm still sorry, Leo Gerstenzang, thought to bring this trick out into the world. His design featured a ready-made swab that would be, in brackets, moderately safe for children, comprised of a wooden swab that didn't have much of a risk of cutting or having cotton stuck in the ear. The package itself was designed so that a parent could open it with just one hand and grab the swab while the other hand is holding the baby. So that's why have you ever seen a Q-tip package where it's like kind of folds out and comes out? It's like it's almost like a Tic Tac packet. That's the only way I could describe it, but it kind of folds out.
Okay.
Q-tips are like that. Soon after, Gerstenzang created the Leo Gerstenzang Infant Novelty Company, great name, for marketing purposes and the hopes of launching a baby product line. His was the first mass-produced cotton swab. When do you think it was, Dave? What year?
1953.
30 years off. 1923.
At least I'm in the right century.
Rather oddly, when he first went into production in New York City, and I've checked multiple sources for this, he named his swabs... Can you think what the first name for This is my other guess. Or what would you call them? Imagine you've never seen a cotton bud before. What would you call them?
Cleaning stick.
Cleaning stick's nice. A little mini cleaning stick.
Yeah.
Double-ended cleaning stick. That's one of the nice things. It's double-ended.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, because you could release two things. Single-ended and double-ended. Two products right there. Not sure why you'd need the single-ended ones, but hey.
Yeah, cleaning stick. Anything else? Any other names?
Heroin for you. Or crack. I feel like I'd want to give it like an original name, like Q-tip. So I might just make up a word. Flibbit.
Flibbit.
Yeah.
You like the flibbity-dibbity.
I do, you know that. Yeah, I love the flibbity sounds. Yeah.
So, what do you think the Q in Q-tip stands for?
Well, I suppose it stands for something, doesn't it? I never thought of that. I mean, I never call it. It's obviously an American thing to call them Q-tips, isn't it? Queen?
So, I'm not going to tell you that first. They become Q-tips later.
Yeah.
But the first name for them were Baby Gaze.
Baby gaze?
Gays. The Baby Gaze.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, that.
It's because he makes his baby gay. It makes his baby happy every time it was used.
Is that, I suppose, yeah, because back then I was still thinking of that meaning and I still couldn't make it make sense. But yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah, baby gaze, it's like, yeah, even if it's just baby happy, it still sounds weird, doesn't it? But I suppose it's trying to turn it into a noun. A baby happy.
There's a funny old baby product that I came across, funnily enough, not long after having a baby. And I'd never seen it before because I guess I didn't browse the baby aisles before. I didn't need to. And it's almost like the opposite of that name. It's called gripe water.
I love gripe water. And it's got a picture of a baby on it like,
Yeah, it has, yeah. And it's you can tell that they've just not changed any of the branding or anything for 50 years.
Oh, we should do an episode on gripe water.
Yeah, I still don't know really what it is, but...
I do, but I'm going to save it for the episode.
Save it, yeah.
Because that was one of those things...
The information...
Yeah, that was one of those things I remember seeing. I was like, what is this? And it was like, actually, it's very helpful. Anyway, so it went from Baby Gaze, and he changed the name ever so slightly to Q-Tips Baby Gaze. And eventually it became known by the far more familiar and simpler Q-Tips. And the Q stands for quality. Quality tips.
Yeah.
Quality tips. How many other brands have just quality in the name?
Well, we can think of a popular chocolate brand every Christmas that everyone talks about.
Well, that's true.
It's a street. Smaller and smaller.
It's a street. It's a street that is of quality.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah. But there's not many.
Pretty
other...
average, if you ask me, though. Average
street.
They're
all right. Average street.
Yeah,
you won't get away with
much better chocolate.
The Q is the quality, but they just call it Q. In 1926 was when it was first changed to Q-Tips. You can imagine in the 90s that brand of chocolate being just called Q Street. Yeah, let's get some Q Street.
Yeah, it's quite edgy.
Yeah, and also it's shorter, making the name smaller, much like the chocolates are getting smaller and the amount that they have in them. Even the name suffers from shrinkflation.
But I bet Q-Tips haven't, though, have they? They're still the same old size I remember when I was young.
Yeah, well, there are slightly thicker ones and different, but it's so negligible.
I've actually got some different ones. I've not opened them yet. They're in the bathroom. Yeah, they're called safety cotton buds, and they've got a bigger end. It's sort of like, I guess it looks like that they go wider and then narrower. So that I guess it stops you going in too far, kind of thing, or at least tells you can feel when you go too far with them, or something like that. Yeah, I've not even opened them yet, so I can't tell you exactly what they look like. Yeah. But I saw them and I was like, well, maybe they'll be useful for my son, maybe.
Well, over the years, obviously, it grew, became very lucrative and popular. Other brands started doing it, and they were called cotton swabs, which, once again, is the name of what you do with it. You swab. There's not really another verb I can think of that you do with a cotton bud. You just swab. That's what you do. You swab for, because I always had my mind blown, and I didn't do it as much as I was an addict. When we did the COVID tests, having a little, those little long ones for the back of your nose.
I did not like doing those ones.
No, I never put them in my ear, Dave. I was good.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, come out the other side.
Yeah. Although, just on the subject of that, the first time I ever did one of those COVID tests, I went to the COVID centre and I had to do it myself. And I remember getting this and it was you put it in. And I always remember the instruction was you put it up your nose until you feel a bit of resistance. And I remember doing it. And I remember putting it in. I remember going, this is going quite a way. And I felt it up near my eye.
No.
And I kind of did it, and like it went in quite deep, and I start, doing the little twist as you're supposed to. And I remember like they had volunteers like walking around going, "Is everything okay?" And I saw this woman walk in, she goes, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah, am I deep enough?" And she just literally was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Oh no." And honestly, she was trying to remain calm, but her face was the picture of horror. She was like, "He's gonna get his
Push his button. We've got a code 5. We've got a code 5.
Yeah,
Bring
he's going to really do that thing that everyone said that guy did with the pencil on his desk.
Yeah.
He's just going to push it up his brain and die." That was a good rumour. You had that rumour? We all had that rumour.
Yeah, back
Put
to
a
school.
pencil in his nose.
Like the other one, like for leaning on your chair, swinging on your back of your chair, and the person who fell backwards and broke their neck or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Probably
See,
true.
that one makes more sense as a lie to make up where... Okay, so that's a good... One of those is a lie to stop to make kids safe. The other one, who would make that? That's definitely a lie made up by kids. The first one was definitely made up by adults, it was probably true, because now that I'm an adult and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's not, you don't want to fall on that wrong.
No.
But the pencil up the nose, it's like it's not like to stop people from putting pencils up their nose. Like people weren't doing that. It was just like, oh yeah, here's a way someone died.
Yeah.
And then, but then like, when you're a teenager, like, yeah, I feel like that. We've all had days like that.
Yeah.
So, cotton buds, they were originally made with plastic. They are now almost always made out of paper, like little bits of cardboard to go up. Unfortunately, they are one of the worst for littering in terms of like they don't really degrade or things like that.
Yeah.
There have been, as well, new ones made designed to be reusable, so you can rinse them out and do things and use them with.
Yeah.
And it's made with silicone, which I thought was quite interesting.
Like all good reusable products are. They're all made from silicon, aren't
Yeah.
they? Just
the last thing I want to show you...
All the reusable rockets are made of silicon too.
Oh, really?
No.
Why did I believe you? Why? You just said it with such confidence. And I was like, well, Dave knows his space stuff.
Yeah.
Made no sense. Why did I believe you? So here you go, Dave. This is from a newspaper. I'm showing Dave a newspaper. Can you just describe the audience what you're seeing here?
The Pittsburgh Press. It's clearly an old newspaper. From January the 28th, 1927. Friday evening. So obviously this is the evening paper because they would have had a morning one too back then.
Yeah. So here you go. Here's one of the first advertisements. Just
Something new.
Every mother will be glad to know about Q-Tip's Baby Gaze. Sanitary boric-tipped swabs for the eyes, nostrils, ears, gums, and many other uses. 60 swabs in a box for 25 cents.
Bargain.
So, yeah, there's also denatured alcohol for your car. Hypno Cod, that's a tonic. For chapped hands, glycerin and rose water. Hot lemonade.
Yeah.
We've got some candy here. We've got some sugar-coated
almonds.
Cherries. Tooth powder.
Cigars.
Oh, yeah. Sailor pipes.
This is back when they thought smoking was good for you as well, I think.
Yeah, well, when they pretended that, when the company said it was good for you. But here was the other article I wanted to quickly read. Can you just read the headline, Dave, for the people at home?
VZ Street woman dizzy collapsed in street.
Attacked by one of her spells of dizziness, which she attributes to a 15-year-old case of certain forms of chronic bladder and kidney inflammation, Mrs. and her name and where she lives, frequently collapsed in the street, she states, but now she is a well woman. How? Read her story for yourself. So it's just a story about a woman that felt a bit dizzy and fell down and then got back up.
Probably just a bit of the old consumption. That's what people got back then, wasn't it?
What do you know what consumption was?
I feel like I've been told this. Diarrhea.
Tuberculosis. Consumption was tuberculosis.
There you go.
So one
Makes
of the most common
with
diseases. what a note to kind of get to. So we looked at an oldie newspaper and then basically was like, consumption is tuberculosis. Although I do recommend the book. Home. I do recommend to everybody the book Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green, one of my favourite authors. Very, very, very good book. So there you have it. Tuberculosis There you have tuberculosis.
Used to be called consumption back in
Used
the
to
day.
be called consumption. What a lesson for you to learn today on Q-tips. Well, remember Q-tips were little baby gays. Good name. Went up to Q-tips, and as we call them in the UK, is cotton buds, or as they call them in a lot of other places, cotton swabs. Do you know anyone that calls them cotton swabs?
No, because the thing
It's
is,
just
the
cotton
word
buds.
swab to me, it never sounds like the small pointy thing that is. Swab to me sounds like more like the circular cotton pads you get. That swab to me,
No, you can wipe with a pad, you can dab with a pad.
I think it's just my brain, how it works with words. It's a...
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
To me, you can do a lot more with a pad, but with a cotton bud, all you can do is swab. So yeah, but remember, Q-tip is just the brand, like Xerox, like Hoover,
like Vaseline.
and Vaseline. Exactly. So there you go. We don't really say Xerox, but in America they do. What am I going to name this episode? Because do I want it to go out to America so they know what it is, or do I call it Cotton Buds and just give them a bit of intrigue?
Yeah, maybe give them, this is how we do it over here.
That's what I'm going to call the episode. It's going to be called Cotton Buds. That's what we do over here.
Do it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Feet consumption.
Well, with that, I hope all of you have enjoyed today's episode of the Mundane Podcast with Chris and Dave. Please, please, please do share, rate, comment on everything. We do read all of your comments. We do try and respond. I want to build up enough so we can kind of do some fun little things with the replies. But honestly, anything you can do to put out. We also have a ko-fi.com page now, so you can donate to keep the podcast running, to pay for some of our running costs as well. I hate being that person asking for money, but it does cost us. And it all will go back towards the running of the show.
Yeah, send us a voice note.
Yeah.
You might even get played on an episode one day, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
send us.
Can't promise.
Themundane.uk. You can find us on Instagram, on Blue Sky, and on Facebook. Just give us a little write, and we will have a little listen. And please share the podcast, help it grow. If you know anyone that's going to like it or anything, just do it. Any of our reels, I try and get some fun little clips out as well. So please do that,
and give us money
if you want.
Please,
there's no pressure.
No pressure. I'm being silly.
No pressure.
I'm being
please,
silly.
Please, but
if you want to.
So if you want to, but even more so, share.
Just share. That's what
Yeah, if we can get more people listening, the better.
That's what we want. We don't
get this out there.
We don't do it for the money, No,
we want more people to know that cotton buds used to be called baby gays.
Yeah.
That might come up in a pub quiz one day. So, everybody at home, first of all, don't put cotton buds in your ears. Remember, nothing bigger than your elbow. I promise you, it's the worst thing in the world. But if I can do it, I believe in you. You can do it. My other tip, just kind of that little bit in front of your ear, just kind of push it, kind of wiggle it a bit, and just sometimes you just got to get through the itch. Or get some olive oil. It's like, I think you can get from like Home Bargains, like 69p, just some little olive oil, just drop a little bit in your ear, and just kind of let it soften things up. And I do find after a couple of days of doing that, those horrible, forbidden inner itches go away. But if I can get over it, you can too. And if not, do what I did and just hide them or don't have them in the house.
Yeah. If you're an addict like Chris, then that is the best thing to do. Don't worry though, I'm on top of it with Chris, and if I'm suspecting that he's using again, then I will have some sort of intervention with him. So don't worry, guys, okay? I'm looking out for him too.
And with that, have a fantastic week. I love you at home.
I love you at home as well. And out and about. I love you wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are. I just realised that.
I only love at home.
No, I just love you. And you, Dave, I love you very much.
I love you too, Chris.
And with that, we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
It's the Mundane Podcast.